This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going in DC? How's the weather?
It is finally getting good. Well, relatively good, I say. It's
Right.
not 20 degrees anymore. We're above freezing. It was like 58 as the high. So, yeah, spring, I hopefully will say is coming.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Same here. We're like high 60s, 70s this week. So, we'll see if it lasts.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Okay, take away what you watch for us.
Yeah, so, typically I see one or two things in the past week. This time I saw five,
Wow.
but I will say they're all shorts. So,
Okay.
I will say I went to and they do this in the theaters, and they might do it on streaming too, but, around Oscar time, they do the Oscar-nominated animated or an Oscar-nominated short films that you can all watch in one sitting, and so I decided to go watch the animated shorts from this year, and that consisted of 5 different short films that are all gonna be nominated for this year's Academy Awards. Um, Keep it concise. I'll just go through them. So the first film was called Magic Candies, and this
Mm.
is a short claymation style story that follows this young kid who uh, plays marbles and he likes being alone and he doesn't play with the other kids. And one day he wants to improve his marble collection, so he goes to the store and he decides to buy some of these marbles. But the store owner says these are actually candies and they aren't marbles. So he buys them anyway, and they all have different patterns and unique properties to them. So he eats one, and all of a sudden he can hear his couch talk. And upon pulling the candy out of his mouth, he realizes it's the same pattern as his couch. So he can understand his couch, and his couch is like, "Oh, can you please pull like the remote? It's stuck in me, and it's very uncomfortable." And so he goes through this whole eating the candies to learn about kind of who he can talk to, who he can listen to, and how he can interact with them. A really cute little story. Not like I'm going to
Thought he
spoil
was
much.
eating edibles or something.
Yeah, I mean, if this was a teenager, yes, but
All right, right. Oh, he's a little
we, we
boy.
we we presume the innocence of youth in this
Oh,
story
okay. Yeah, yeah,
and let him just imagine because he talks to the dog. You're right. There's a little bit of correlations here,
yeah.
and everything like that. But no, it's a fun, cute story
Mhm.
done in kind of that claymation style.
That's good.
Yeah, the next film was called In the Shadows of the Cypress, and this one's an interesting one. So it's nice. It's like a watercolor style animation, but it follows and it's an Iranian film. So I should mention too, every one of these films were actually not US based. They're all from
Okay.
foreign countries. But this is an Iranian film following the story of a former captain who's got some PTSD, and he lives with his daughter, and he kind of has some of these, violent outbursts. And one morning, she decides to leave because she can't live like that anymore. And when she leaves the house, they discover on their beach there's a beached whale. So now the story shifts to kind of how can they save this beached whale while he's dealing with the troubles of his past and dealing with kind of his relationship with the daughter. It's a silent film for the most part. Like they make noises, but there's no dialogue. And yeah, that was really good. It's kind of a cool story. Again, shorts, you really have to do a lot with your like 20 minutes. So there's a lot that they kind of speed through, or there's a lot of unspoken elements of the film that I feel like a lot of modern, especially movies that are, over 2.5 hours, 3+ hours, are putting in a lot of filler. These are the opposite. So they do a good job of kind of telling his story and his relationship with the daughter in this film. No edibles in this one. Next, we have a film called Yuck, and it's a French film, and it's done traditional animation style, and it follows these little kids that are hanging around a campground in the summertime, and all the kids watch this couple kiss each other, and they say yuck. And so, like, it follows them going around and just saying that to a bunch of different couples that they see and laughing and running around, and then one of the characters or two of the characters actually they start having these feelings, and when people are about to kiss, their lips turn glow pink in this
Mm.
film. So the boy notices it, but then he tries to hide it because he's embarrassed, and then he notices the girl it might be of interest, and so they go back and forth through that. It's a cute little film. It's very French. They kind of it's that style. I don't know how else to explain it, but if you have anyone's been to France or been around French people, you probably understand what I mean by that. But a fun watch. Next, we have Wander to Wonder. This is another claymation film. This must have been the year for claymation. And this one's an interesting one. Actually, this one would be cool to have an expansive universe, but it follows the story of these tiny people. And when I mean tiny, they were like part of a children's television show in the 80s. And they dress up as little silly creatures and then they like interact with their hosts. So think of like a Mr. Rogers talking to like a little character, a little hand puppet, but these are little people. And the film actually starts with the owner. Basically, he's passed away and he's passed away in the house. And so these little people are stuck in the house. And some of them, there's three of them. One just kind of keeps filming and tried to make more episode. One is completely given up on anything. And he doesn't have a care in the world and he starts filming without pants and stuff like that. So, he's really given up. And then another one's just still trying to kind of pull it all together. And it really tells the story of how like they're trying to survive because of course they're little people, they can't leave the house, they're running out of food. And what can they do next? Um, Eventually they find a way out, but it's a cute little film. It's a British film. Um, Again, there's a lot of kind of interesting elements of like what would happen if you were like really a tiny person and you did a show and then you were stuck in this house because whoever ran the show died and you didn't have anything to do. So definitely a fun little film. And then finally, we had a Belgian Dutch French film that's also claymation called Beautiful Man. And this story follows three brothers who go to Turkey in 2021 and they want to do hair transplants. So they all have kind of a different level of baldness and they all wanted to do get this
Yeah.
procedure done. Um, but one brother accidentally scheduled the procedures wrong and there's only one available. So he has to go through the story of how he kind of tells them who should be the one and who should get it. And you get a little bit of nuances of one brother's very nice, one brother's kind of nervous, one brother's very standoffish, and how they interact with each other. I will say this one, while not like awful, is the weakest of the bunch. There wasn't much to it. I didn't really care about the characters, and in the end, I was just kind of just like didn't have much feeling for it. So I'll say that. I know that was a lot. So that was the five films I
That
saw.
was a lot. And they were
Yeah,
like 20 minutes each, all of them.
yeah, they're all 20 minutes each. So again, it's fun. It's a kind of a fun little thing to break up the monotony of just seeing one thing.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. Again, if you can watch it on streaming, if there's someone that lets you rent it, definitely check them out. And it's fun to see. It's fun. First of all, it's fun to see the art from small creators, but it makes you think that like you can make something like this and become an Oscar nominated film. It gives you that like hope of anyone can do this. So
Yeah,
I
it's
would
true.
recommend it.
We're in the middle of award season, so Oscars counting
Exactly.
down. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's waiting. I know Chalamet just won. I know, Conclave, a lot of these different things, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we shall. We shall. All right, Adam. Well, thank you as always. Let us know what to spend our time and money on, what not to. And we're back next week. See you right back after this.
Yeah.